Welcome to the melting room.
where we tend to go on and on.
Welcome back to episode number 2.
Yeah, episode 2, our second video episode. It's good to be back. We got a lot to talk about today.
First off the bat, making the biggest news I think this week was the Iran deal.
Iran,
The
absolutely.
question is it good, bad, or just plain ugly?
It's just plain. It seems that I actually, for the first time, kind of agree with what this administration is doing on that note. We're trying to make some progress forward,
Right.
and I think Iran gets vilified in the mainstream media, and isn't the nation isn't as evil as some would be.
This is the nation that chants death to America.
I just don't.
They actually still have people. They still have hostages from the U.S. currently, even after this deal.
Right. I mean, but we have hostages. We have.
We're also fighting
Prisoners.
them in Yemen. I think we're opposing them in Yemen.
Yes.
You know,
But we're supporting
we're-
them in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
So, it's. I think we're making progress, and that's what needs to happen. The Middle East is going to go on, and it's going to go on just as it's been going on for a long time. There's turmoil in the Middle East. There is a civil war brewing between the Sunnis and the Shias, and it has been for forever. And I think we're in the middle of all that, and there's oil involved.
Seems to me the easiest way to nullify the situation and really be able to make it go away on its own would be to simply make oil unimportant. If we ever could just move on off of gasoline and oil, then the bottom drops out of the pricing. The sheiks and everyone of those governments are not as wealthy as they once were.
Right.
It changes the dynamic of how they have to behave as well in order to survive.
Well, and that's exactly what it should do, and I think that's why what's been proposed is at least in the right direction.
So we've been working on this deal with them though, and I've heard everything from Netanyahu saying they have a matter of months till they have a bomb, to now this new deal says that they're going to be about 15 years away.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I don't. Again, I think Netanyahu is building Iran up bigger than it is because it supports its enemies,
Right.
Hamas, right? So.
Hamas.
So I think that's what's happening here. It's a lot of propaganda vilifying Iran to being more than the monster than maybe it might be. But any progress is good. I think I'm more worried about other groups and other factions getting a dirty bomb in this country than I am anything else than I am with a treaty with uranium enrichment.
Which speaking about things, we had an incident in I think Chattanooga, Tennessee, where
Yes.
Some Marines were killed. Is there anyone claiming? I've heard ISIS has claimed this, but this was from an
Doesn't look
unreliable
like it.
source.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a situation where there's so many different issues that this particular incident evokes. With the gun issue, I've heard people say, "Oh, now I heard it today." This woman saying she's going to get a gun now because this happening because she was near there. And I just so that's the world people want to live in, a world where there's weapons. Everybody walks around weaponized and carrying all the time. I mean, you say the wrong thing and you're dead. That's the price we pay for social faux pas now.
Everyone's afraid of getting their ass whipped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like sometimes you get beat up.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but you live.
Yes. I mean, horrible things are going to happen, and whether guns are, everybody's carrying them, or nobody, all the laws are again saying you can't have a gun. Bad shit's going to happen. It happens in China. Somebody does it with a knife, but at least only one person dies, or maybe nobody even dies, and it's just a few people wounded.
Right.
Or here, mass four dead. 4 Marines. People know how to fight and defend themselves against people. I know it was out of, that's if they were. I'm sure they were just blindsided or weren't even expecting it. It was from the street, I believe, at the recruiter's office, something like that. But ultimately, it speaks to not only homeland terrorism and how it, of course, in a country with easy access to guns, terrorists now can get that easy access as well. But whether it's a homeland terrorist or connected to ISIS, which I don't think it is, it still shows that it's here. It's in our country.
Yeah, there are disgruntled people in this country,
and has been
various reasons.
I mean, there's been, yeah.
I think we need to be as worried about that as we do, the Middle East. Again, it's searching for a way to find Middle East. Maybe which kind of leads to the next little person making news. Well, he's not a little person. Is Trump? Is he just an asshole, or is he the savior that our country's been looking for?
He's just an asshole with a fucking bad comb over. Seriously.
He could be the savior. I mean,
no.
He is the epitome of 1980s and 90s opulence and
exactly. How could that be the savior?
Everything that Americans at that time really loved. It's like, gold everything, big titties, and giant-sized everything. That's Trump. That's what. There's a certain edge of the country that I think really wants to go back to this image. The problem they don't understand is that the rest of the world doesn't really take kindly to this image.
No,
being projected. Trump would be devastating to. People have not given Obama a lot of credit in a lot of ways, but having him as the president for the last 8 years, well, not 8 yet, but will be, has really, made huge strides in how other countries view us,
Oh, yeah.
in a more positive way.
After 9/11, the world was on the United States side, and that was a beautiful thing. What Bush did in his 8 years was completely tarnish that and ruin that. What could have been a great coming together, I think, global coming together of nations,
right,
caring for each other and looking at things from a more enlightened perspective. Instead, he just put full throttle in the military-industrial complex.
Indeed. Well, Trump is not a military guy per se. That this week he also is.
He wants to put more money.
He's bashing McCain. He
Yes.
wants to bomb. He does want to bomb people, but is he really kind of a military guy though?
Who, McCain?
No, we know McCain
Trump,
is.
yes.
But Trump.
Yeah, no, I mean, he wants to. He said he would give more money to defense.
I hope it's coming from his personal.
I mean,
account.
Trump's not a military guy. Trump's a money guy, and Trump is a fame whore.
Yes.
The idea of him running a country it sounds to me the most ridiculous concept, like a SNL skit. That's what I feel like.
What happens though as we move a few months down the line if he's still at the top of these polls?
Well, he has to still go up against Hillary, the monster of Hillary. Or if I had my druthers, of course.
How is Bernie doing?
He's drawing more crowd, the largest crowds in the 2016 electoral campaign. Out of anybody else who's running right now, he is drawing the largest crowds.
Interesting.
The people are interested in what he has to say because he's talking. It's talking to the populace vote, and that's exactly what I think we need. We need somebody that's speaking to that. Even if he doesn't win, at least it brings a voice to what's going on into the mainstream. And what he's doing is undeniable, and that's why I support him. Go Bernie 260.
Yeah, we actually had another Republican that entered the governor, I think, of Ohio, Kasich.
Yes.
He entered as well. It's just gotten so ridiculous on the other side. At least on the Democratic side, that's one thing. There's not so many candidates right now. It really does enable Bernie to kind of give Hillary a run for her money, at least right now. It looks like he's able to.
Right. I mean, like I say, at least he gives that side a voice and makes her, at least, at the bare minimum, brings her side farther to the left.
Right.
I think we can use that. I still think that she's too close to Wall Street, and I'm uncomfortable with that. And I wish Elizabeth Warren would just back Bernie Sanders. By the simple fact of everything she talks about is what he's doing. All of her issues, her main core issues, he's right there with her. So
I would think she would support him, but I still want her to jump in at some point, but it's still a few years off, I think.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to cut to a commercial break, but we'll be right back with more Melting Room. Melting your brain, man. Away. Welcome to the Melting Room, where ideas come together.
I hope I'm in frame and action.
Welcome back to the Melting Room,
where we're continuing to go on and on and on about all kinds of things, especially things like civil liberties.
Yes, civil liberties.
If you've flown recently, you might have.
I have.
Actually, yeah, you have. I think we both have. If you've flown, you know the line where you walk through and you see where you're herded like a group of cattle, and we go on down this line, and arbitrarily one person is chosen to be peeled off, where they have to remove their shoes and go through a full body scan where they get to x-ray your whole body and send you on your way.
When I just recently went, they made everybody do the full body scan.
Oh, everybody did the full body
scan. Every line has it.
Well, that's, at least that makes a little bit more sense, I guess.
Yes. Let's invade everyone's privacy so that we don't feel singled out.
Well, I bent on the side of, if you're gonna do it, fucking go full bore. Because the arbitrary bullshit, that's just not doing anything either which way. I think it's a complete and total, absolute tearing down our civil liberties when you walk in there. When you go in to catch a fucking Airbus, we're taking the bus that just happens to fly. I mean,
yes.
I mean, I know there's inherent dangers with flying, but if it is the if it is the safest form of travel, then I shouldn't have to be so concerned about my ability to board one of these and take off. We are not criminals. Isn't that like the first and foremost aspect of what this country is supposed to be about? That
it is, but we're in an age of everything is instant and recorded, so I think it is much more of a society of you're guilty before, and you have to be, verify that you justify that you are innocent, so not a do-batter.
That's a do-batter. That's sad. That makes me sad. I don't want to live in an age where that happens. I think we should be in a place, in a world where we're innocent until proven guilty. We can walk and catch a plane. Yeah, if you want to put a metal detector to make sure somebody's not carrying on an arsenal, sure. But short of that, I don't think what this is doing is really going to stop terrorism, because it's just in our last segment spoke about it's going to get you from other methods as well.
Sure.
I think that's just it's waste of taxpayers' dollars and a complete invasion of our civil liberties.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you can't take weed with you when you go on vacation to Key West.
Yeah, this is more of a problem now. Yeah, you can't really travel with anything.
Well,
It makes it very difficult.
before 9/11, it was no problem. Carried it in my pocket.
Yes. I don't know. It's a balance of safety. I mean, safety's an issue, and
Of course.
I even when I was coming back recently, the plane came in, it landed, it offloaded, and we almost started boarding immediately. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to miss my connecting flight if we don't get out of here because it was late coming in. But at the same time, it's like, well, that'll just screw everything up if I miss this flight. But okay, it's better than something being wrong with the plane and us taking off and then crashing and not making it to the next airport. So, there is a balance of some kind there, but yeah, if I'm going to have my body cavities either x-rayed and shown on a screen, then, I want them to have to stand there in their underwear. Like, either hire attractive people and then it'll be an enjoyable experience, or, let it be the people that work there now and we'll just laugh at them.
Well, that's an
At least
idea.
It'll be humorous and it'll be on an equal basis. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there you go. That's an idea. To get, kind of like strippers and Chippendale dancers to be.
Ladies over here,
It's like a party.
Chippendales.
It's a TSA
yes.
party every time you go and fly, and you hit the
Chippendales can do
TSA
the
party.
security for the women, and strippers can do it or sexual orientation, whatever side you want to go on. It's fine.
The swinging TSA.
The swinging TSA, man. Groovy baby.
Swing with the fucking flying air.
Makes me think of the Austin Powers airplane.
Right, yeah. The shaggin' wagon in the air.
The groove, yeah. We should groove on. I've often wondered how people have sex on airplanes in the bathrooms because they're just so incredibly small. It just blows my mind.
Well, they used to not be as small, I'll say that. But they are incredibly small. But I think people can pretty much figure out how to have sex anywhere they can fit two people in, or even one. Sometimes that's even better.
Indeed.
It really got to me. I took a trip recently, and I felt like it was just something that wastes our dollars and wastes our time.
Well, those are jobs.
Well, that's just
Creative
saying
jobs.
that's like saying having the military build up the military because it's a job creator. Yeah, that's great, but we don't want to just continue, propagating the military-industrial complex. Our military is larger than the next 8-9 countries combined.
Something like this.
It's ridiculous. It's a waste of our taxpayers' dollars.
Speaking about military dollar wasting, did you see the Russia military theme park that they
Yes,
opened up?
it's insane.
That's crazy.
Come fire a tank.
Yes, like 8-year-olds crawling
Yeah.
all over tanks.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun, but it's ridiculous.
Could be a bit excessive.
Yeah, I think so. I think
We haven't gone there yet here in the States. They haven't gone that far.
Not yet. I think we're close. I think if the one in Russia takes off,
Yes.
Watch
someone
out.
Here will want to open one.
yes. Come out to the naval base and shoot off a couple of cannons off the side of a warship.
I mean, it would be kind of cool. Yeah, looks. I have to admit, for kind of wars and everything, Germany after the last war was just, really decimated. And, through there, I just feel like their intelligence and their just hardworking attitude, they have outworked everyone else and now are the dominant country in Europe.
Yeah, they work less, get paid more. I think they, well, they saw the error of their ways and they decided to become
Take over countries through economical
Yes.
means now.
Yes. Very smart.
Greece,
Very
Greece
German.
pretty much just will be the new vacation destination for all Germans free of charge. If you're German, you get to go to Greece, stay with a family that lives there, a Greece family. You just get to take over their home because you own it. Apparently, that's the special I saw.
So Germany is now going to take their breaks in Greece.
Yeah, I mean, what are the Greek people going to do?
No, nothing. I guess.
Nothing. They didn't do anything for years. They didn't want to work, so.
Well, they're gonna try to use their credit cards.
I mean, I'm all about, I understand austerity measures really do suck, but, Greece may have been a culture society potentially that was just too lax. Or not lax isn't the right word, but they just had this culture of, well, this should be free or something, like it was not a culture of a hard-working society, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think that just came back to kind of bite them, and it's difficult adjusting to it when you've had 20 years of, I don't know, what do they get, 2 months of vacation?
Yeah.
Or something ridiculous.
They're an example of not letting it go too far out of hand, but also what the ramifications are, and I think they're wrong. I think the ramifications aren't the right idea. The austerity measures were maybe needed to curb the spending, to realize, hey, let's hold up for a second. But then you got to invest in it. Just like here, you have to invest in the infrastructure. You have to invest in education. And when you start taking away from those to pay for other ventures,
Indeed.
then this is what's going to happen.
So, as we have declared here on the Melting Room, Greece is fucked for right now.
You heard it here.
That's right, you heard it here first. We'll be right back after this short message.
Welcome back to the Melting Room. All right, so you may be watching us and you're like, who are these hacks? Well, we're nothing compared to the hacks that happen to the federal government. Let me tell you, that's scary. 21 million people.
Yes, I was probably one of them.
You work for the federal government?
No, but they said anyone that also had background checks requested through the government or anything like that. So, if you have a passport, applied for a passport recently in the last few years, this is probably you.
21 million people. Social security numbers.
Social security numbers, where you live, your emails. I don't know if your emails, but
I think everything. So, that's crazy though, right? That shouldn't happen. I would say that's illegal.
It is definitely illegal. What I don't understand is we do spend an enormous amount of money on our defense budget, and I think we're spending it on the wrong kind of defense. Like, why do we have such an archaic system that this information wasn't even encrypted? It doesn't make any sense. To me, we need to maybe reappropriate some of our military spending or defense budget to cyber defense as well.
Absolutely.
I think this is the most dangerous front that you can be vulnerable at, actually.
Right. And Archuleta paid the price. Has to resign. That's pretty. You got to put a block on security. I mean, that seems to be the 21st century. That's got to be number one, I think, for defense. That's where everybody lives, is in the digital world.
Well, yeah, I think, even Hollywood has went there many times with, the Die Hard scenario, what was the last one where, there's so many movies where it's all about someone releasing a virus into the system,
Yes.
or taking control of our, technology system, the internet in our country, and it just, then, or shutting it down and sending us back to the times, whatever.
Die Hard 4.
Yeah, or whatever. So, I think that, this should be in people's mind, that this is a serious threat. It's a danger, and
It is. It should be on the forefront of everyone's minds. I think this is, where we are in this century. With technology, you get things like, hackers. You're being vulnerable to hackers.
Yeah.
But also, you get to do cool things like take pictures of
Very
Pluto.
true. Yes, take pictures of Pluto.
And its moon, Charon.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the most exciting things that's happened in space exploration for a while. I mean, there's always something neat and interesting going on in science, if you ask me, but I think this was something we could all kind of get behind. We all know Pluto, and it's, getting
was demoted.
Yeah, it's degradation, into an icy little ball of rock or ice. But I think it's awesome that we finally get to see Pluto, and it looks like a planet. It looks like it's a little
A
planet.
little mountain range. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
little.
It's so cute.
And it's hard. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And and I think these things are great to drum up excitement for science.
Yes, for sure. The more exciting news to me, though, was the discovery of the planet in the Cygna galaxy or Cygna system
Yes.
that is supposedly very
Earth
Earth-like.
2.
A little bigger than Earth,
Right.
A little longer year. We were just discussing earlier about the weight. It's
Yes.
double the weight, so you would weigh twice as much as you do here on the Earth.
It's double, so it
If
would.
we could adapt to this, maybe we got a second place. It's not, I forget, it's 1,400 light years away. So that's all we have to.
Oh, that's all.
That's all we have to traverse somehow.
Yeah, we can do that in a few 20,000
Well,
generations.
Supposedly, there's several stages to being able to fight off ageism and prolong our lives, and the key to this is supposedly going to be nanobots that go into our bodies, and this technology is supposed to be available around 2030, 2035, so got to make it till then.
Well, that's what I've been waiting for.
And then
is
they
nanobots.
just, they inject them, and then they go through all your body, and then as shit starts to make you sick or wear out or tear down, the little nanobot robots inside your body just start going to work
So
and
your
fixing
robots
it,
fix your cells.
fixing everything. Yeah. A little scary though too to me to have a bunch of little robots, thousands of little robots running around in my body. But if it makes me live,
You're down.
makes me go be 25 or 24 again,
Yeah.
and then maintain. Shh.
Well, if you have that, I mean, you would just
I might
you
do that.
fall, you fell down, boom, you'd automatically start being repaired.
It's like having unlimited one-ups, or extra mana depending on what game you're playing.
You get
Unlimited health.
Well, you're almost you're in invincible mode, and you're like, oh, got hurt. Well, it's okay
Yeah.
because my nanobots will take care of
unless
that.
you crush your skull or you bleed out or something.
Well,
you
yeah.
can still die. But
Yeah, you're not. Looks like you're not invincible. Yeah, but you got some superpower for sure. Well, speaking of science and superpowers, I just saw Ant-Man, and it was pretty awesome.
Interesting. I've been very unsure of Paul Rudd as a superhero, but I'm not sure it's like, I don't know, I'm not real familiar with this superhero, but it strikes me that it might be a little, have a humorous note to it, twinge, so he might fit it well.
Well, I think what Marvel did was great with this. They just made a heist movie that's a comedy. It really is. It's a fun, almost like a family movie.
Yeah.
You can take your kids to this. It's very light. It's big on jokes and physical humor. I really liked it. I thought it was kind of fun. I went knowing all of its background with Edgar Wright and leaving because of creative differences with the studio, but I really liked it. I have to say, it came out of it and thought it was pretty cool. So I don't know. I just added a movie segment to our show this week. I thought we needed a little space right there before the closer to say, hey.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be it for today for the Melting Room. It was fun coming here and talking about science and politics with you.
Join us next time where we'll discuss things, and more things.
And other interesting things. And that camera's not even on anymore. So we're talking to this one for the last shot. Or yours, whoever. Thanks for watching the Melting Room. We'll hope to see you again soon.
Join us next time.
Ah.
We'll melt your brain.
And the Melting Room.